listening to KPG 66.5, Dinosaur Talk Radio, your favorite prehistoric podcast for research, entertainment, and all things dinosaurs.
Welcome all my dinosaur fans, and thank you so much for tuning in to episode number 6 of KPG 66.5 Dinosaur Talk Radio. I'm your host, Dinosaur Ranger Anthony, and I am live from right here inside of the Dino Bus. So thank you guys all so much for tuning in. I was just a couple minutes late, you guys. I was stuck in my kitchen getting my coffee ready today, and I've got it right here. So what happened was my coffee maker wasn't on. I was trying to get it going. I didn't have a big enough mug, so I had my snowman mug all ready for today, and then I'm too bougie with my coffee. So I was adding coffee creamer, and I just didn't have enough space. So I grabbed my always reliable Houston Museum of Natural Sciences coffee mug. But I am so excited for today's episode. Today we are right in the thick of the holiday season. Today is Friday, December 12th. We're just having an amazing holidays. The yard is decorated. The tree's been up for a couple weeks. The stockings are hung, and we are just totally ready for the holiday season for sure here at KPG 66.5 Dinosaur Talk Radio. So how is your guys' holiday season? Is everybody ready for the Christmas holiday here in just a couple weeks? We are just super pumped. Just everything has been so magical here at the Stomp Chomp Roar House. Now this week, you guys, I went down to St. Joe, Missouri, had an awesome couple pep rally shows down there. I headed down there and I did 4 prehistoric pep rallies. So those are the shows when I go into an elementary school where I do 2 shows, one for K through 2 and then a 3 through 5. So I went down there to St. Joe and I did 4 of those school shows. And here, let me give a shout out to all those schools. We went to Troy Grade School in Troy, Kansas. Then we went over to Parkway Elementary, we went to Ellison Elementary, and then Oak Grove Elementary. So all of those are in St. Joe, Missouri. So I did my first shows in Missouri and Kansas. So it's super cool. I've done tons of shows here in Nebraska. I've gone and I've done shows over in Iowa, but now I've got Kansas and Missouri onto my educational paleontology belt. Then on Wednesday and Thursday, I did my Santa Claus fossil show. So what I did is I made a dinosaur Christmas show for this year, and I advertised it to a few child cares, and I booked 5 of these dinosaur Christmas shows. So I've done 2 so far. Next Monday, I'll do 3 more out in Des Moines, Iowa, and then I'll have 1 more pep rally here in Omaha over in Elkhorn to wrap up my 2025 season here for my business. It just been tremendous. I know I talked last week about that, how I beat my sales goals from last year over year. I beat my goals, and I have increased my business each and every year. So it's just been terrific. And let me go ahead and fix my mic right here. We'll lift it up a little bit right there. Awesome. Lift it a little bit higher like a Brachiosaurus head. But we had tons of fun. Remember, we went to that restaurant, Terra Gaucha, and just had an amazing time. We definitely ate like a T-Rex. It was just so much fun. Now, you guys, today we're doing my podcast, KPG 66.5 Dinosaur Talk Radio. Tomorrow we're going out to see good old Santa Claus. Good morning there, David. I hope you've got your coffee ready. Probably not, though, huh? Coffee is gross, right? But you guys, so today we're doing our podcast. Tomorrow we're going to go see Santa Claus with my family and I. And then we got a dinosaur Christmas lights drive-by. So this will be my 5th annual. So every year, as you guys have probably heard, I've got all those Christmas inflatable dinosaurs in my front yard. And I do a drive-by. So I advertise it on Facebook. And then I hand out candy canes. So anybody that drives by, I give out candy canes while all the kids get to see the cool stuff. All the cool things in the yard, and then I even sell a few of my homemade dig kits, t-shirts and slime kits, salt dough kits, anything that families want for their kids for Christmas. I do that as well. But hey, today we're going to talk about all kinds of things. And one of them is the scary word of evolution. Evolution, it's just so scary. Now, you guys, we'll talk a little bit, and I'll give you my personal opinions. So we'll talk a little bit about faith and a little bit about science. So there's no one that says you have to pick one. You either have to believe in a higher being, believe in Jesus and God, or maybe you just believe in science. Well, why can't you believe in both? So that's what we'll talk about today. Not totally specifically, but we'll talk about dinosaur evolution, how dinosaurs got onto our planet, how dinosaurs left, and then all the dinosaur family trees. So, but let's go ahead and start with our first segment. We'll grab our pizza box for today, and we'll head on over to Steggy's Pizzeria of excitement and cheesiness and full of sauce and pepperonis and sausage and hamburger and pineapple. Do you guys like pineapple pizza? But remember, one fact, everybody knows the rules. I've got our Godfather's box right here. We will open up the box, pull out a slice, and we'll see what our fun fact is for today. So we'll open it up. There's not too many slices in here. Probably maybe 8 to 10 more slices. I started with like 14 or 15. So let's see what we got for today on episode number 6 of the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast. All right. Ooh. So the fastest dinosaurs were the ostrich-like ornithomimids, up to 45 miles per hour. That's really fast for a dinosaur. Now, when we compare it to like a cheetah could get up to sprints up to 70 miles per hour. And they still live here today, so cheetahs can get up to a sprint up to 70 miles per hour. So cheetahs are still faster than dinosaurs, but our fastest dinosaurs are those ornithomimids, those ostrich-like dinosaurs, kind of like the gallimimus. I think that one might be the most popular of all those ornithomimids, the gallimimus. So, had no teeth, but it's still a meat eater. It's still a theropod. It's still a carnivore, and it might have been one of the fastest of all those dinosaurs. And it's running all throughout its environment, looking for all kinds of food. But that is Steggy's Pizza. One fact, everybody knows the rules. Dinosaurs might have been up to 45 miles per hour. All right, let's get into segment number 2, our episode lesson. So this one is going to be, hopefully I don't make it long. Whoops, there went my camera. My laptop fell down a little bit. Let me go and fix that guy. Oh, and I forgot to grab my pasta. I was going to do some pasta for this segment. Maybe we'll use something else I can find here in the dinosaur lab, inside the dino bus. But segment number 2, you guys, our lesson for today is dinosaur evolution and the dinosaur family tree, okay? So, where did dinosaurs come from? We know they came from eggs. And then, where are all these different dinosaur families? Sometimes you hear the words like sauropods or theropods, maybe even marginocephalia or thyreophora, some very uncommon dinosaur words. But today we're going to talk about the evolution of dinosaurs, and then we will talk about the specific dinosaur family trees, okay? So let's see if I can share this screen here. Let's see. I've got some awesome slides to kind of help us kick us in to the evolution or the beginning of all of our dinosaur friends. So here we go. All right, so our dinosaur evolution. So let's go all the way back to the Triassic period that I know we've talked about a lot. The Triassic period is the first time period of the Mesozoic era. At the beginning of this time period, remember, we had the PT extinction, or the Great Dine. So going into the Triassic period, we had tons of animals wiped out. Remember, it was around 98% of all creatures in the water went extinct. Some 75% of creatures that lived on land went extinct. So as we go into the Triassic period, we have two groups of animals. So those are our therapsids and our archosaurs. So these are reptilian-like animals, the therapsids, the archosaurs. So remember that, therapsids, archosaurs. Now the therapsids are also synapsids. So there's all this sids. So therapsids are synapsids, and synapsids means one pair of temporal openings. openings in their head. So think about if you feel on your head behind your eyes, we have our temple right there. That is our pair of temporal openings. We are synapsids. And therapsids are synapsids, so they have that one pair of temporal openings. To make it a little bit easier, therapsids are mammals. Now, when we talk about the archosaurs are diapsids. They have two pairs of temporal openings. Now, they are going to slowly start taking over the Triassic period. So at the beginning of the Triassic period, we have our therapsids, and then they start to decline. They're declining down. They're starting to go extinct. And then our archosaurs, they are essentially evolving or changing into three different groups of animals. Dinosaurs, our pterosaurs, and our ancient crocodilians. So we've got dinosaurs. We know the dinosaurs. Pterosaurs are like our Quetzalcoatlus, Rhamphorhynchoids, all kinds of pterodactyloids, all those flying creatures in the Mesozoic era. And then our ancient crocodilians, maybe like the Sarcosuchus. So archosaurs essentially are changing into different groups of animals scientists have discovered. So archosaurs became dinosaurs, pterosaurs, ancient crocodilians. So think of them as all having a distant cousin. They've got a grandma and grandpa from a very long time ago when we talk about the dinosaurs. And that grandma and grandpa, they were kind of more related to the pterosaurs and the crocodiles. So crocodiles, pteranodon, T-Rex, they're all somewhat related to an ancestor that lived long, long ago. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. Now, all throughout the Mesozoic era, those dinosaurs are having so much diversity. The dinosaurs, they've got so many different families, so many different looks. Meat eaters, herbivores, plant eaters. We got omnivores eating both. We've got horns. We've got teeth. We've got toothless. We've got all sorts of domed heads. I'm looking at all the fossils I have here in my dino bus. All sorts of different dinosaurs. Maybe some had feathers. Some had reptilian-like skin still, like we know, like our Edmontosaurus with its mummified skin. So we just have so many different types of dinosaurs. So when it comes to their families, so we have 5 main dinosaur families that I always like to talk about. We've got, I gotta backtrack, and I really wish I would have grabbed my pasta. Maybe I should do a quick run for it. It would make it a lot easier to explain. So I'm going to go ahead and put on, do I have any elevator music? I don't have any good elevator music. I know David has some good elevator music, but maybe I'll go to this one. And it adds kind of our rainforest in. And let me grab my box of pasta because it will make so much sense. So give me 20 seconds. All right. Perfect. I made it back. It just wouldn't have been the same without this box of pasta right here. So you guys, let's talk about dinosaurs and all of their families, okay? Whew. I'm a little winded. And hopefully that's a great spot YouTube can put an advertisement. Help us monetize a little bit more. But anyway, I've got this box of pasta right here. Let's switch back to our camera only. Perfect. So we've got some shell pasta, you guys. Perfect. I'm Italian. It will work great for our lesson. So this box of pasta right here is every dinosaur. There's tons of shell. David, you were counting. Did you have a timer on that? That would 30 seconds is perfect for a commercial on YouTube, and it will work out perfectly for anybody else that watches later on. So it will be perfect. But this one right here, our shell pasta, is every dinosaur in existence, okay? Now we're going to open it up, and we're going to kind of ruin the pasta now. So we're going to open it up, just like a Christmas present. On Christmas morning, Mario gets pasta. All right. There's our pasta. We got every bit of pasta in there, and each of them is a dinosaur. So look, there's all the little dinosaurs right there. So what we're going to do is we've got to make different groups of dinosaurs. So when I got this box of pasta, what we can do, see, it would be great if we had a plate, but we've got a pizza box. We'll grab another pizza box. We'll open up this one. We'll open up our box, and we're going to dump out the dinosaurs. Perfect. So in our pizza box, we got all these shell noodles, and they're each dinosaurs, from Spinosaurus, Triceratops, Stegosaurus, Gallimimus, Parasaurolophus, Pachycephalosaurus, Micropachycephalosaurus, Apatosaurus, Brachiosaurus, Diplodocus, every dinosaur right here in our box, and they're represented by these pasta pieces, these shells. Now, dinosaurs can get broken up into two groups, okay? We've got Saurischians and we have Ornithischians. So what we can do is all these pasta, we can divide them into two separate groups. Boom. I got two different piles of pasta right now that you can kind of see there on my screen. Now, the Saurischians, these ones, they have all the dinosaurs have these same bones. But our Saurischians, they have a pubic bone that points downward and to the front. They've got a lizard-like hip, but they're not but they are the ancestors of birds. So Saurischians are the ancestors of birds. They've got a lizard-like hip, and their pubic bone points downward and to the front. Now, I'm pretty sure I've got a slide that I can also show us here, and that'll help us make a little bit more sense as well. So if I share this slide background right here, you can see there is our pubic bone right there, that green one that you can see on my screen. So their pubic bone for the Saurischians points downward and to the front. So this is like the hip region, their hips. And they've got that pubic bone right there. Saurischians downward to the front. Now the Ornithischians, the other group of dinosaurs, their pubic bone points downward and towards the back. So their pubic bone is pointing a different direction. Our Saurischians is down and to the front. Ornithischians is down and to the back. Now, Ornithischians are also known as the bird-like hipped dinosaurs, but they are not the ancestors of birds. So even though the bird-hipped dinosaurs have a bird-like hip, they're not the ancestors of birds. It is the Saurischians with the lizard hip who we believe becomes the ancestors of the birds. Isn't that totally weird and wild? Now, Saurischians can be carnivores and herbivores, while Ornithischians are all herbivores. They all eat plants, plus they have a predentary bone at the tip of their lower jaw, helping them be able to rip all kinds of vegetation. So, dinosaurs were in all that pasta box. We split up our pasta into Saurischians and Ornithischians. Now, who are Saurischians and who are Ornithischians? We know it's about their pubic bone, which way it points, but we can start to break up the pasta even more. So let's talk about the Saurischians. So we'll talk about this pile of pasta right here. Saurischians, we can break that pasta into another two groups. So look, now we've got two little groups right here. And the Saurischians, they become the theropods and the sauropods. So theropods, everybody knows a theropods. So this group of pasta right here are theropods. They are the carnivores, the two-legged meat eaters. Remember, they don't all have to have teeth, or ornithomimids. Many of them, like Gallimimus, have a toothless sort of beaky jaw. But some of them do, like T-Rex, Spinosaurus, Suchomimus, or Carnotaurus, Ceratosaurus. Many of them have teeth. They're eating all kinds of meat. So theropods are Saurischians, and so are sauropods. So sauropods are all the long-necked dinosaurs. So this other group of pasta over here, the other little one, are the sauropods. All the long necks, Brachiosaurus, Diplodocus, Argentinosaurus, Titanosaurs, Apatosaurus, Brontosaurus, if he's he's kind of back. So all the long-necked dinosaurs are sauropods. Theropods and sauropods are saurischians. Their pubic bone points downward and to the front. So, boom, there's the saurischians. Now, let's talk about the ornithischians. Who are the ornithischians? So, are these dinosaurs eatable? David, you want me to eat these dinosaurs? You just want me to eat the pasta raw? I don't know if we should do that. But you guys, so ornithischians, okay? Ornithischians, remember, the pubic bone points downward and to the back. What dinosaurs are those? Well, think about the ones we haven't talked about yet. We haven't talked about the meat eater, or we have talked about the meat eaters, and we have talked about the long necks. So that's going to leave ceratopsians, duckbill hadrosaurs, ankylosaurs, stegosaurs, our pachycephalosaurs, iguanodontids. So all those herbivores, many of them walking on 4 legs. Some of them might even be able to get up onto 2 legs, like our duckbill hadrosaur type dinosaurs. So our ornithischians include the dinosaur families of the ornithopods, the marginocephalia, and the thyreophora. So ornithopods are all the duckbill dinosaurs. So duckbills, like our Parasaurolophus, our Corythosaurus, our Lambiosaurus, all those duckbill dinosaurs, and it also includes our iguanodontids. So our iguanodon with that thumb spike on its hand. So ornithopods, think of it as our family of duckbill dinosaurs. Then we have the marginocephalia. Marginocephalia is they've got the protection on their head. They've either got the dome head or the frill behind their neck. So think of it as all the ceratopsians and the pachycephalosaurs. So dome heads, and we got that neck frill. So we've got some sort of head protection. Those are the marginocephalia. And then we have our thyreophora. Thyreophora is our ankylosaurs and our stegosaurs. So think of the armor-plated dinosaurs with all the armor on their back. Plates are all kinds of scoots or osteoderms. And those are the ornithischians, okay? So I didn't grab this other group, but if we grab that first ornithischian group of pasta, we would break that up into 3 groups for those ornithopods, marginocephalia, or thyreophora. So if you look at my box right here, it's going to be kind of hard without it all dumping onto my dino bus floor. But boom! We had 5 groups of pasta. Those are the 5 main dinosaur families. When we group them together, we can make 2 groups, the saurischians or the ornithischians. And then if we put it all back together, we have the dinosaurs. Case closed. Perfect. All right, we'll put that up there. Let me see, what did I miss? So remember, you guys, during the early Triassic period, we had those therapsids, those archosaurs. The therapsids nearly go extinct. The archosaurs evolve or change into 3 groups of creatures. Dinosaurs, our ancient crocodiles, and our pterosaurs, the flying ones like Pteranodon. So those 3 creatures are all somewhat related by a distant relative long, long ago. Our dinosaurs, we break them up into saurischians and ornithischians. Then that can even be broken down even more. When we talk about theropods and sauropods, those are saurischians. And when we want to talk about ornithopods, marginocephalia, thyreophora, those are the ornithischians. So we took dinosaurs, we broke down our family tree into saurischians and ornithischians, and then we broke those down even further. And if I share this screen right here, I've got a little family tree that I made. There is the Dinosauria family tree. Dinosaurs at the top, saurischians and ornithischians under that, and then under those are theropods, sauropods, ornithopods, marginocephalia, and thyreophora. So I hope that makes a lot of sense. So all throughout our dinosaurs, they're also changing as well. We've got like Herrerasaurus, Mosasaurus at the beginning of the Triassic or the mid-Triassic, and dinosaurs are just slowly changing all throughout the Mesozoic era, all throughout those millions and millions of years. And that right there is our dinosaur family tree in a nutshell. Now you can we won't get into it as much today, we'll do it in future episodes, but like theropods, you can break them into even smaller groups. So we know they're carnivores that walk on 2 legs, but Tyrannosaurids and Spinosaurids are two different meat-eating families within the theropods. And you can do the same thing throughout the other four main dinosaur families. So they just keep getting broken down into smaller little groups of pasta or into smaller families. So I hope that makes a little bit more sense of our dinosaur breakdown. I'm not going to chop down the tree, David. I won't chop down the cherry tree like old George Washington. Ha 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 ha. But that is our family tree, you guys. A little bit of dinosaur evolution. How we get dinosaurs on our planet from those archosaurs that change into those groups of creatures. Dinosaurs are, remember, related to ancient crocodilians. They have to crocodiles today. They have an ancient relative. And birds, we believe birds are like dinosaurs because of their hips, remember? Those saurischians, even though they were lizard-hipped, we believe they're the ones that evolved into birds that live today. So that is a little bit of our science perspective on everything about evolution, not everything, but a little bit of some cliff notes on evolution of the dinosaurs, how they sort of changed throughout the Mesozoic era. We're getting smaller ones at the beginning, they're getting giant and ginormous towards the end, and then they finally, boom, go extinct at the KPG extinction, which might be our next podcast episode. Wink, wink. So that is our dinosaur evolution, our family tree, a little bit in a nutshell. I hope it made a lot of sense, a lot of big words, a lot of explanation. I try to do a better job with the pasta right there because, hey, my family, I am a ton Italian. I thought it would be a great way to incorporate some of my family tree into my lesson for today. But let's go ahead and move over to our prehistoric cage match. Let's get to our next dinosaur battle as I sip on a little bit of coffee right here. Today we've got a Eggo waffle coffee K-cup, followed by a little bit of sugar cookie Christmas creamer, and it is great. Perfect. All right, that was brought to you by David's Coffee House. All right, let's go ahead and grab our fun for today. Dun, 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 dun. We got to grab, there it is, our spinning wheel of doom. Who will win the spinning wheel of doom? Let's go in and click on the wheel. We've got 90 genus left of creatures. Sadly, Dinosaur Ranger Anthony was eliminated when he won a few weeks ago. Oh, don't do this. Oh, okay, perfect. We almost got the chicken, you guys. Almost got the chicken, but we will take the Utah Raptor. We'll remove the Utah Raptor. This is looking to be a great showdown today. Come on, let's all pray right here. We're going to get another meat-eating dinosaur. We want theropod versus theropod. I didn't show you guys my fossil for today. I got to make sure to show you that before the end of our podcast today. Don't do that. Our Stegosaurus. Okay, the reason I said don't do that is because I am pretty sure episode number 20 or 30. Here, let me close out of this real quick. Episode 20 or 30 of the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast, my first podcast, I'm pretty sure one of the cage matches is on these two specific dinosaurs right here, Utah Raptor and Stegosaurus. But they wanted a rematch, and I'm pretty sure I remember who won last time. So let's see if it go ahead and happens again. Let's go ahead and enter into the prehistoric cage match. Ring the bell, ref. It is time for a battle of the century. First up, we have our Utah Raptor, up to 25 feet long, 7 feet high, and weighing up to 1 ton. This one is not the size of a turkey. It is the biggest dromaeosaurid to possibly ever walk on planet Earth, with a 15-inch claw of doom. And it's battling up against a plant-eating dinosaur, a Thyreophora, as in fact. This one is a Stegosaurus, up to 30 feet long, 9 feet high, and could weigh 3.4 tons. It had 17 large plates on its back for all sorts of protection. Maybe they even changed colors, some scientists believe. And it had up to 3 feet tail spikes or those thagomisers. This is going to be an epic battle for the ages. We've got our Utah Raptor. We will name Cliff. And we've got our Stegosaurus we will name Roscoe. Cliff and Roscoe enter into the arena. We are battling today in a crater. It is a really, really big crater. And I'll let you know why later on in this podcast. But we've got both dinosaurs squaring off right there in the middle of the crater. Our Utah Raptor, not scared about anything, charges right towards the Stegosaurus and instantly strikes a blow onto the side of the Stegosaurus, avoiding those plates. Our Stegosaurus tries to spin around with its tail and those thagomisers. It is a slow dinosaur. Our Stegosaurus, one of the slowest of the dinosaurs, and possibly might not even be one of the smartest. Its brain only the size, a lot of people like to say an acorn, but it's like a hot dog if you saw it. Now our Utah Raptor swings back around and comes in for another quick attack, leaping up, and this time attaching on to a little bit of those plates as it tries to bite down with its claws and onto its jaws. But those plates are just so hard, it's hurting its teeth as it slides back down, but accidentally slices a little bit into our poor Stegosaurus. Now, you guys, at the end of the day, in this crater battle, after multiple headbutts, possibly from our Utah Raptor, we've got slashes from its sickle-like claw. We've got that bite force, those teeth from the Utah Raptor. The Stegosaurus being slow, but possibly maybe even getting in one strike with its thagomiser-like tail. At the end of the day, wait, does the Stegosaurus never give up? The Stegosaurus, does it give up? No, we can't let it give up. Or what about the herd? Oh, you know how Ranger Anthony likes to bring the herd into this battle, but you guys, our Stegosaurs might have been more seclusive, might not have had as many family members around, might have been in just tiny, small groups. But maybe the Utah Raptor slips on a banana peel. Wouldn't that be just wild? I think I can't do it on today's episode. The Stegosaurus, even though it is kind and dear to my heart, I think I might have to go to the Utah Raptor. The Utah Raptor with its 15-inch sickle-like claw, its bite, all those little serrated teeth might be taking down our Stegosaurus. So even though I love you, Stegosaurus, you are one of my favorites, maybe on my Mount Rushmore of dinosaurs. The Utah Raptor is episode 6 champion! Perfect. That I couldn't do it again. I've already had episodes where I have the plant eater somehow secretly come in and it just conquers. It doesn't give up like those mammoths last week, but I knew I had to give us a Utah Raptor win. That one is for the theropods. But don't get too used to it, especially you, David, okay? So that is our prehistoric cage match for today. Now let's go ahead and go into our final thoughts, our closing, as we show our claws. So thank you all my dinosaur fans so much for tuning in to episode number 6. I can slowly start to see some of our episodes starting to get watched a little bit more. I even got a great boost. Remember, I said I was in St. Joe, Missouri last week. We went to Troy Grade School, Parkway, Oak Grove, and Ellison elementaries out there in Troy and St. Joe. I saw a good little bounce in our subscribers. So if you were one of the subscribers, a student from one of those schools, thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel, Stomp Chomp Roar. It totally means so much. Now let's talk a little bit about the elephant in the room before we go. The controversy between evolution, a little bit of faith, a little bit of science. They can coexist. And I am someone that I am in a field where I was married in the church. I like to go to church. I am Catholic. I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. I believe that there's a higher being that hopefully we all go to someday where we can spend out the rest of eternity and it'll be just wonderful. But I also believe in dinosaurs. And I know that we find dinosaurs because we find their fossils. I have found fossils. I specifically haven't found a dinosaur, but I have found things from millions of years ago, all kinds of coral, brachiopods, things that live in the water, that lived long ago, even some from before the dinosaurs. So we do find fossils on our planet, and that is proof that creatures lived long ago. I think a lot of times it's crazy. I could tell some wild stories about shows that I've done where I've got cornered inside of places and people wanted to know if I was going to talk about evolution or not. Or maybe, hey, why don't you throw this into your show and tell the kids this? I don't change my show for anybody. This is my show. I can eliminate things, and I never talk about evolution in the show. I want to talk about the dinosaurs. So when I go do shows for kids, we talk about fossils, paleontology, dinosaurs, explode volcanoes. We don't get into touchy subjects like evolution, where some people believe, evolution, it's taboo. If we believe that creatures change, then it would disprove everything we know about faith and religion, which I don't believe is true. So, last thing I'll say about evolution and faith is they can coexist, and I can believe in both and have a great life and be able to do everything I want to do in life and just have tons of fun doing it as well. So you can do both. Never be afraid to show your claws. All right, next week I will possibly be absent next week, all right? So it will be the first Friday that I might miss, and it's for a good reason. So my family and I are traveling down to Houston, where we'll stay for 2 nights before we head to Galveston, and we get on the Disney cruise ship, The Magic. And we're going on I believe it's 5 nights, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We're going on a 5-night cruise down to Progreso and Cozumel, Mexico. Now, Progreso happens to be the site of the Chicxulub crater. So that is where the asteroid hit the planet 66 to 65 million years ago and caused our dinosaurs to go extinct. So next Friday, I will be in Galveston waiting to board on our ship, so I won't have all my podcast equipment, but I still would like to try and record a video, whether I jump live on YouTube really quick at 11 to do a quick little video of where I'm at, or if I have to record something and upload it later on, I am going to try my best to be able to do that for all my listeners as well. Now remember, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel as it continues to grow, only up to 135 subscribers. But it still truly means so much to me. Now, since I might be mixing next Friday's podcast, we will not see each other again till after Christmas Eve and Christmas. So if you look at my Christmas sweater, it says, "Have a Merry Rexmas." Have a Merry Christmas. If no matter what holiday you like to celebrate, I hope it's tons of fun. And I forgot to show you guys one thing before we go. I found a fossil in my own house. And I was like, I have to show that on the podcast. I've got to do a Facebook post about it. So here is the fossil. Are you ready to see it? It's super old, only from 24 years ago. It is a VHS tape. Do you guys know VHS tapes? Of The Grinch Stole Christmas. Jim Carrey's The Grinch Stole Christmas. It's a VHS tape. So before Netflix and before DVDs, we had VHS tapes. So you'd put your VHS tape in your VCR, and you can see, if you look closely, you can see all the film in there that would go through your VCR, your TV somehow, as it's showing you the picture, and that's how we'd watch all kinds of movies. And then you'd have to manually rewind them if your VCR wasn't working before you took it back to Blockbuster. So I just thought this would be a perfect little fossil for Fossil Friday. It is a movie, The Grinch, in a VHS version. I'm pretty sure it was my wife's from when she was a kid, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta show that. And I want to be writing a Facebook post about it right after. But I wanted it to be my mouse pad. So perfect, it worked out great. But I have my laptop, as you can probably see right here now. So it's a lot easier to control my laptop than having it way up there where my camera is a little bit. But anyway, you guys, I better stop rambling on for today. Remember, we talked all about evolution, and we talked about dinosaur families, and all throughout the Mesozoic era, we're getting so much diversity and so many different dinosaurs. all throughout the Mesozoic era. And remember, you can coexist with both faith and science. You can love them both. But as we log off today, you guys, remember, we've always got to do our little remember. Now, always remember that thanks to all the dinosaurs for giving us this passion. We just love dinosaurs. But remember, this is our world now. Get out there, do something good, and never be afraid to show your claws. Ranger Anthony signing out. I hope you guys all have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. See you guys.